said she met you one night in the bar drunk. You were boasting about how rich you were and how much cash you had stashed in your house. And you lured her out behind the bar.
The film is about three rather unlikable characters who get caught up in each other's lies, and revolves around them all trying to get this money, and in the end it doesn't work out for anyone. Reasonably low level crim who sort of makes a living doing sort of quite not exactly high end jobs, and has also got very little loyalty, you know, and when the opportunity arose sort of ripped off the person that he's working with. So he's not really likable, he's not really there's not really any redeeming qualities about him at all. And finally it comes up, and it's almost like he knows that it's going to come back and get him at some point, so he's just going through life but knowing that eventually things are going to catch up. Listen to me.
Shut up.
She's lying.
Shut the hell up.
I read through the script a number of times, went over it, and I built up a character background and that sort of thing, figured out the relationship between myself and Kate and Tom. Basically broke down each part of the script and tried to figure out what each piece meant and why the character did whatever he did, obviously through love, or because he was very much in love with Kate, would have gone, but also crime and murder, it's his business. He's a hard man. He's that's what he deals with every day of his life. That's how he exists in society, and so therefore, like, he's met Kate and she's told him this story that how she's been raped and had all her money stolen and stuff.
Where is it? I'm a very weak person, whereas I've got to, you know, lie and cheat and steal to make myself people in my life as the character. And I just, living dangerously and a little bit on the edge is each scene, and find out my motive as the character in the scene, and basically through it, working through the dialogue, trying to get my motive. And always, you know, just living as the character, not really thinking about what would she do in this situation, because, you know, I don't really like to be pulled out of it. So pretty much, like, when I'm in the role, it kind of consumes me. There was a point where I was really hurting James, and I wasn't meaning to, but, you know, when you get into it, you get into it, and it's fun. I really like that.
Occasions were awesome for what we had to do, you know. It was, I think we were really lucky with getting, like, because some of that stuff, it's quite hard to sort of lock down, you know, like a bar or a, you know, it's something that you'd have to pay a lot of money for, or you have to shoot at really weird hours in the morning. So because we had, like, kind of access to these places, it made life a lot easier. And so, no, I really like location. I mean, and it's also, you know, you imagine it in your head, and then you get to the location, and it might look completely, well, quite different, and you've got to mould it to fit what you're trying to do. But no, it was really good in the end.
You've got 20 seconds.
Jeez. Okay. I think Guerrilla's better because there's more freedom. You can try more stuff. Big budget things, everyone has kind of got locked into this job and idea of how it's supposed to go and how it's supposed to happen, and, you know, there's a lot of people working on it. It takes a long time, and, you know, I think on a low budget kind of more indie thing, there's a bit more experimentation, but there's also the limits. There's obviously limits with money and limits with gear and limits with you know, yeah, equipment that you have access to and that sort of stuff. But it's much more of a it feels more of a kind of like more of a creative process in a way, because everyone's pushing the limits a little bit, trying to like do what a crew of, say, 40 people on a big budget thing, you're trying to do that with sort of 5 people. So you all kind of work a little bit harder and all sort of take on a few more hats and try and do stuff. So.
And when we were shooting a lot of the car scenes, it was hard to, the continuity-wise, to get the sound and the lighting, and I had to drive, which was very, difficult for me.
That was awesome.
But I thought a lot of it was eased, because it was a very stressful shoot, us having to take on so many roles. A lot of it was, again, eased by our friendship and the tightness of the crew.
Yeah, definitely. If we didn't all sort of work together in that, we'd never have gotten through. And that's exactly right. Everybody pitches in and does different jobs just to make it work,
Sounds like we're talking about Lord of the Rings or something.
It is Lord of the Rings.
We never would have survived the 3-film shoot.
It was a whole 5 days of hell.
Insanity.
No, well, it's hard, but